Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Good morning, South Africa. My name's Clem Pedro. It's Wednesday. You heard the jingle. We're in the kitchen, which means it's the Culinary Hotline bling. Ching, ching, ching. It's going to be an amazing morning, and with Eid right around the corner, we thought we'd bring in someone special this morning to give you some inspiration, all those cooking tips that you need for that very special day. And in the kitchen, we have Ilam Bunabai from My Hungry Husband. And I actually used to call her Chef Bunabai because she was my chef instructor, right?
No.
We're going to talk about that in a second.
That was a long time ago. Maybe we shouldn't talk about
I want to go there. But if you have any questions for myself or Chef Bunabai, please text us, send us a message on that magic number, 063-408-8863. I want to get questions about Eid. I want to also know, what are you doing on Eid? I want to know, what are you making? I want to know all of that. So if you want to send us some messages through, send it to that WhatsApp number. Let's get cooking. I'm very excited. I'm seeing my favorite ingredient in the whole entire world, and it's actually not meat. It's rice.
It's oh.
Out of all the
Man,
carbs,
after my own heart,
I choose rice over bread. I choose rice
Yes.
over pasta. Is that you as well?
Like, you can eat rice every day.
If you have rice in the house, you have a meal, right?
Totally agree, 100%.
So what are we making today?
We are making a baked rice. So we're actually going to take our rice that's been washed. Now with basmati, you know, you can actually soak it if you want it to get really nice and long, fluffy grains.
Is that the trick to get in that? I want to say it almost gets like a extended tail, almost like Jasmine does sometimes.
Yeah.
Is the trick about soaking it?
Yeah, so if you soak it, it's going to get even fluffier and even longer than if you just had to go in with raw rice.
And how long do we soak it for? So we wash it first, right?
So,
and then soak.
Well, with basmati, it's not that starchy, so you don't I mean, you can wash it, but then you can soak it maybe even just for half an hour.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah. So I'm just putting my rice into this container with some butter, and I'm going in with some water. And then I'm going to season this with some salt and some pepper. And you know, you can actually season this if you've got some rice spice or something like that that you want to do. You can put some of that on. And then we're going to put some mint on the top.
Mint on the top, okay.
Yes.
I've not done that before, so I mean, does it perfume it? Does it give it that minty flavor?
It does. And now this is actually like very Persian-inspired dish. So that goes into the oven, cover it with some foil, and then this will actually bake in like 20 minutes.
In 20 minutes?
Yeah, and it will be really nice and fluffy, and you won't have to worry about it. I love recipes like that. And then once that is baked, we're going to make this really delicious salsa. So we've got some olives and some like toasted walnuts. Remember, with nuts, you always need to toast them.
Right.
I think that was like a first-year lesson, Clement.
That's right. Toasting nuts and baking bread. Was I a good student? Did I ever, was I like respectful?
You know, I'll be honest, I remember what I gave you for the bread class. I think I gave you 5 out of 5 because you made really beautiful bread.
It didn't come from me, South Africa. It came from my chef instructor. But I must say, besides just learning about cooking, I feel like learning how to cook gives you so many fundamental skills in life.
It does.
I mean, it's also like such an amazing skill to take something that's raw and in its like purest state and then put it together with other things and you make like the most amazing creations.
It does. I feel like it's really empowering to know, you know, how to cook yourself a meal in the kitchen. So with the salsa, I've just put a whole lot of really fresh, fragrant ingredients in here. So there's some walnuts, the pomegranate molasses.
Pomegranate molasses?
Yeah, and that, you know, pomegranate molasses, I think a good substitute if people are scared of buying this as an ingredient. You could use like a balsamic vinegar.
Right.
Very similar, like to add, or maybe like a balsamic reduction to add that same sort of like tangy, sweet, sour taste.
Sweet and sour taste, because that's exactly what you get from it. It's absolutely delicious, almost tamarindy.
Yes.
And I feel like it kind of just, it's almost like when we squeeze lemon over food, that bit of acid just brightens everything.
Exactly, so that's
delicious.
So before we do that, we've got some feta that's going on our rice that has just come out of the oven. And then we're gonna hit that with this delicious salsa.
I like day-old cooked rice. I feel like it's a little drier, it holds its shape a little better. Could we actually bake this rice the day before and then dress it?
You could totally do that. But then you just, I would re-steam it. I would just maybe add a little bit of liquid into the rice, and then I would just re-steam it. So then, you know, especially with Eid, if you're prepping from the night before, you could do that before the time.
I can smell this from like a mile away. This is absolutely amazing. So, I mean, the combination of those nuts, the beautiful like pomegranate rubies, jewels,
Yeah.
and then the olives. It's like it's really a flavor sensation. You've got salty, sweet, tangy, nutty, crunchy.
And those are all the flavors that I love so much. So then this would be something really nice to have on your Eid table. You know, you can serve it with what we're making later, but even on its own as a side, as like a really nice side dish.
For those veggies that are out there, I feel like this is a really great one because it's got a lot of like body to it, so they're not going to be lacking in any way. I feel like the meat eaters are going to be attracted to it as well, just because there's so much going on
Yeah.
flavor and texture-wise. I absolutely love this. It's delicious.
And then I've also got some puff pastry here. So this is another side that you can make. That's also really quick and easy. So I've just got some puff pastry and I'm going to cut it into like some squares. And the great thing about this is that it's also super quick and easy to make. And you can also make this beforehand. So you can just put your puff pastry, just line your muffin tray with it. And then what's cool about this is you can use any sort of like filling you want. So, you know, maybe you could even do different fillings. If you've got some, like some butternut, you can put some butternut, some roasted butternut pieces.
Is that what we're working with today?
Yeah, so we've got some, we're just making some mini quiches.
Oh, yes.
So I love this recipe because you can, you know, sometimes in your fridge you've got like little bits of everything left over. Maybe you've got a little bit of chicken left over, a little bit of roasted veggies. You could totally just repurpose it like this. So...
And I feel like quiches are the one food that cross like all meal, like from breakfast, lunch, dinner. Quiche is fine.
Yes.
So it's a great, you're right, it is a great way to use up any leftovers that we have in the fridge. And again, I feel like it's that buttery exterior with the super creamy, like eggy filling that just make it so delicious. I absolutely love quiches. We're gonna bring back quiches in 2023.
We are.
We're going to.
I think this is great party food as well. So, and when you make them like individual, they just look so cute. So that's my basic quiche, and then I've got some cream here, but we're gonna do half and half cream and then milk. So the cream is just going to make it even more rich. And we've got 1 egg in there.
Is the egg kind of just like what binds it and makes it set?
Yeah, so the egg, we're basically making like a savory custard.
Right.
So I'm gonna
Or as we
season
call it,
that
a royale in chef school.
with some salt and some pepper, and then I'll just basically pour this into my...
What temp would you bake it? I think puff pastry always 200, right?
So you can do it at 200, and you don't need to pre-bake the shells or anything like that.
Right. That's amazing. We are gonna bake those off. So when we come back to the second part, we're gonna see exactly what that looks like when it's done. South Africa, don't forget to send us your voice notes. Ilam, Chef Bunabai, it's been absolutely amazing. You're not going anywhere?
I'm not.
You're gonna be back?
Here. Yes.
But can you give me the loudest ting, ting, ting you've ever given in your life? Culinary Hotline Bling!
Ting, ting, ting!
Don't go anywhere.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
You can stand.
Welcome back, South Africa, to the Culinary Hotline Bling! Ting, ting, bling! That was amazing. So in the first part, we saw an amazing baked rice dish and mini quiches. We're now going to be doing a leg of lamb,
Yes.
which is essential. Don't forget, we want to get all your voice notes at magic number 063-408-8863. Send us your voice notes. We want to find out what you're doing on Eid. If you have any questions for us, what are you making? Can you send some our way, please? You know, our address is, we'll find it. We'll let you know. Okay, leg of lamb, another
Yes.
South African staple when it comes to celebration. Have to add the leg of lamb.
It's the showstopper.
It's the showstopper. And it has to be like a beautiful big leg of lamb on the bone with that in shank piece. That's the way. Yes.
Yeah, because it's the piece de resistance. You want everyone to be like, you know,
You did it.
Take their
You've made
breath away.
it. Yes.
Yeah.
So absolutely amazing. I'm seeing a lot of spices, a lot of aromatic flavors. What do we do to begin this recipe?
okay.
I see gloves. That's why I got distracted.
So you are going to open that lamb for me.
Sure thing.
And make the marinade. So maybe I'll pour everything into the bowl for you. So we have some, let's start with the garlic, because you always need some garlic.
I mean, garlic and lamb, yes.
Yeah.
And I feel like you don't have quantities for garlic when you're cooking lamb. You just feel it with your soul.
Yeah, like you measure it with your heart.
Because the thing is, you're going to cook your lamb for quite a long time. So
You are.
if you add 60 cloves of garlic, it's going to be fine. Because it's going to mellow out, right?
Yeah, and it's going to get really nice and sweet. So we're going in with some, after that, some cumin, then some turmeric.
Before I became a chef, I actually wanted to become a doctor. True story. Do you see how beautifully I opened that up?
I'm really glad you became a chef, Clement.
I could be a good doctor. Dr. Pedro. And would you trust me as your doctor? The truth is coming out. Okay, cool. Also glad I'm a chef. All right, lamb looking beautiful.
So some pepper, some salt. Then we've got some lemon juice for a little bit of acid, some honey to sweeten. And then we're going in with our rosemary and our saffron.
Very fancy because it's
Yeah,
Eid. We can
of course.
spend all our money on saffron. 'Cause it's
Yes, every time it's Eid, you got to get the saffron in there. And actually making the saffron liquid just draws out that flavor. So you know what to do with this, right?
Yeah, so what you do at home, South Africa, is you're gonna get your saffron, get a little bit of warm water, not hot, warm, and then you're gonna steep your saffron, almost like you would tea. Once it takes on that color, you're good to go. But we've got a beautiful message from Aisha Lawrence. Good morning, Aisha. She says, good morning, Expresso morning show. An absolute must in my home every Eid is me taking the butter chicken recipe and substituting the chicken with crayfish tails. Aisha Lawrence, yes. What else does she do? She adds prawns, mussels, and she serves it with naan or roti, and then Eid is not Eid without leg of lamb. Aisha, we're with you. We're absolutely with you. We feel you. Also, I feel like seafood and lamb go together so well. So many recipes you'll find like you marinate lamb in anchovies or anchovy paste. It's just a combination of the extra umami, on the umami, the surf and turf vibes that come together so beautifully. So yes, the combination of spicy seafood along with that lamb is a must. So you're giving this lamb the treatment?
Yes, so I'm just piercing some holes in here so the marinade really gets into that meat. And then, once you've got your other glove on, you're going to rub all of that marinade, just really nicely massage it into that lamb.
Another thing is you're saying massage and marinade. So another recipe or another element you could do way ahead of time?
Yes,
And
so you
that's
can
better?
make this the night before, you know, after your last iftar, basically, you can get your I mean, you saw how quick this was. And there's not that many ingredients, but you're going to get so much of flavor out of this. And you can just put it in the night before, let it marinate for a little bit. If you don't have time, you can do it in the morning as well. So, you know, if you're serving this for lunch or for supper, it'll be ready. And then again, after that, it just goes into the oven.
I'm thinking leftovers. What do you do with the leftovers?
Oh, do you know my favorite? It would be like a lamb sandwich with like some fresh sourdough or like ciabatta bread.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Okay, getting it in the tense muscle over here. It's called a rub for a reason, South Africa. You want to really get into the meat. I'm just having too much fun now. Okay. And the leftover marinade just gets poured over, right?
Yeah, so I've got a little bit of sliced onion that I've lined my baking dish with. And you're going to put that on top of the onion, so it's just going to rest really nicely.
Okay, I wouldn't be a good doctor because somehow liquid got inside my glove. How? Okay, cool. So yeah.
So once that's done, you're going to take your chicken stock and then just pour that over the onion. So you don't actually want to get it onto your lamb. You just want to pour it all over the onion. And then you're going to cover this with foil and put it in the oven for about an hour. And then depending on how you want your lamb to be done, if you want it to still be pink, it'll be an hour and a half. If you want it to be well done, about 2 hours. And then just in that last 60 minutes or 30 minutes of cooking time, you can just remove the foil so we get some nice color. And then the stock and the onion will form like a really nice gravy.
Thinking like potential load shedding. We don't know what's gonna happen. If you have an oven-proof dish, or say like a metal roasting dish, could you do this on a kettle braai?
Oh, totally. Yeah, you could totally do that on a braai.
So I think it's a great solution then for like an Eid dish, considering we might have load shedding.
Load shedding,
And I
yeah.
feel like, again, celebrations and the braai, they just go really well together.
They do. And plus, you know, it's South Africa, we need to always have that plan B.
We need a plan B, absolutely. Okay, let's talk sides.
Yes.
What would you serve with this as an amazing side? Your rice, first of all,
So
yes.
baked rice, definitely. If you want some more veggies, I would even do like maybe some roasted veggies, especially green veggies. But keeping with that Persian theme that we had going on, and plus knowing that we love rice so much, maybe even some couscous would be nice.
Yes.
You know, really nice couscous that you could make very similar to the rice. And again, so easy. You could just soak the couscous with some nice stock and then add some nice fresh veggies, even those pomegranate seeds that we had on top of the rice. Same sort of flavors, you know. Yeah, I think definitely go with the couscous as well. Lamb and couscous, just friends.
Yes. So we spoke about the fact that we can marinate this in advance.
Yeah.
Could we, let's just say there's a lot happening in the kitchen and eat, which is the case.
Yeah.
Could we like pre-roast this the day before and then on the day give it that final crust?
I think what you would be able to do is maybe do that 1 hour of cooking with the foil covered and then let that cool if that's in your fridge. And then that last minute of finishing off would be that 30 minutes or that 60 minutes where you take the foil off. And then maybe if you've got some like leftover marinade or you've got a little bit of like olive oil, just baste it so that it doesn't get dry.
And that beautiful crust on the outside, which you have
Yes.
to have. And then very important, resting the lamb.
Very important. If you don't rest your meat, you know what happens. It's just all of the juices are just going to run out. So when it comes out of the oven, let it rest for like 20 minutes before, 15 minutes before you
Yes.
actually serve it so that the juices stay inside.
Amazing, thank you so much. We've got one more segment, right?
Yeah.
I'm excited to see, is it something sweet?
I hope so.
I hope so too. South Africa, don't go anywhere. It's been the Culinary Hotline. Bling! Ting, ting, ting!
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to the third installment of the Culinary Hotline. Bling! Ting, ting, ting! What was that? Oh my goodness. The Culinary Hotline. Bling! Ting, ting, ting! That's a little better, thank you. So as we mentioned, Eid is around the corner. We're looking for all the Eid inspiration. And Ilham, you've come through with the most amazing recipes this morning. If our viewers out there want to find more of your recipes, what's the name of your blog?
My Hungry Husband.
And it's full of recipes that include some amazing hits like,
This baklava that we're going to make.
which is all you need to know. So baklava, not a balaclava.
No, not a balaclava, no.
Can we bring back the balaclava trend? Some people are saying yes. Look, our grannies were onto something. That whole vibe with the little pom-pom on the top and da-da-da-da-da.
For winter, I mean, it keeps your face warm, so...
Right? If you have a balaclava at home, please take a picture of yourself in a balaclava, send it to our Expresso Facebook page or Instagram page, and we will actually put it up on screen. Everyone's saying yes, and we will. Baklava, what is it though?
So this is I would say like a Middle Eastern sort of dessert. A lot of times it's served with coffee and like tea, you know. And this is a very simple recipe, very quick. And this hack that I'm going to give you now, I think it's just like completely blown my mind because it's so simple.
I'm here for the hacks.
I've got some phyllo dough, but it's just under this damp cloth because we don't want it to get dry.
Because when it gets dry, it gets all crusty and it breaks, and you can't mold it, you can't work with it. So the damp tea towel is a great idea. Also, make sure that it's clean.
Yes, of
okay?
course.
Don't be doing
It's
the
not
dishes.
no,
and then...
it's not the dirty.
No, it's clean.
It's clean.
It's clean.
Yeah.
We do have a voice note. Read some voice notes.
Yes.
Let's hear what one of our viewers has to say.
Good morning, Expresso. I would like to know what to serve with corn tongue. I usually boil it the normal way there on the pack, but I'd like to know what to serve with it and if there's any other ways of enhancing the flavor once it's boiled.
I like this one. Do you want to go?
Okay, so I was thinking in my family, you know, we like traditionally like a naan bread or something like that that's really soft to serve it with. I liked your idea of like the soft flour tortilla, taco vibe. But very simple. I'm like a simple gal, so I like, you know, cheese and that sort of thing with mine.
I get you. I get you. And I feel like you could also, what you can do is just make sure you don't overcook it so it becomes really dry.
Yeah.
You could glaze it. You could slice it and then glaze it, put it in the oven. What I do with it, which is really great because I feel like it ticks all the comfort food boxes, is I make a bechamel or cheese sauce, or I even buy the cheese sauce from Woolies.
Yeah.
And then I shred the corned beef and I mix it with gnocchi and I bake it. Because it's great for leftovers, but it becomes such a huge staple on its own.
Yeah.
So, like you said, we've shredded it, which is delicious. You serve yours with cheese. I love like really hot English mustard with corned beef.
Okay, or like an onion marmalade or something like that with some rocket and oh.
Yes, turn it into a sandwich. But for sides as well, go for like your roast potatoes that go so well. Make it nice and rich. I mean, it's always like it's a celebratory like cut of meat. So we always say it on Christmas, Easter, Eid. So have all the sides: your cream spinach, your roast potatoes, the whole vibe. Have it with your corned beef. Corned beef is making a comeback because you can do so much with it.
It is.
I love it.
It goes a long way.
Yeah, it goes a long way.
A lot of people.
So we got our phyllo down and we've
Okay.
shaped it nicely.
Yes.
We kept it nice and damp so we can still work with it.
So you can make the syrup for me. So we've just got the simple syrup, which is we've got some water, some sugar, some honey, some lemon juice for a bit of acid. And then you can just, wait, let me actually just do this peel for you. So we've got an orange here. I'm just going to take a little bit of the peel off, so a little bit of the rind, and we can put that into our syrup as well. So just, oh, can you smell that orange?
Yes.
So
And
fresh.
Ooh. Oh, it's citrus season. No wonder she's popping. It's amazing. So for South Africa, this is the rind or the zest, okay? This little white part is the pith. And you don't want that in the food because it's quite bitter. It's quite like, it takes like a little bit of that. It's just really sharp and bitter, so you don't want that. So this is what you want, which is that beautiful, it's got all the oils in there and the fragrances of it. And this is the pith, you don't want that. So this is gonna go in, and that's gonna flavor our simple syrup. And the honey, that goes in as well?
And the honey goes in. And then, so remember when we're making something like baklava or even like kusisters, anything that's going to take a syrup on, and we want that syrup to actually absorb into this. One thing needs to be hot and one thing needs to be cold.
Okay.
So for this one, when this comes out of the oven, you would have needed to have made that and cooled it down already. So that this is hot, that is cold, and then you're gonna pour that over once it comes out of the oven so it can fully absorb. So I've got a little baking dish here and I've got my phyllo pastry. And the hack that this is so much quicker than your regular baklava recipes is because you're basically just going to take your phyllo dough, put it down.
Like somewhat like a whole 8 sheets at once.
Just all the sheets. So, you know, normally you have to like butter each sheet.
Yeah.
I mean, who has time for that?
Who has time?
So I've got some nuts here that have just been blended in a processor, and I'm adding some lemon zest and some cinnamon, and then we just need a pinch of salt. I know that sounds strange, but the salt actually brings out the natural flavor.
And what's the combination of the nuts you have in that bowl?
So there's some almonds, some pistachios. You can even do seeds. Like I know if people have like allergies to nuts, then you could totally do like a seed mixture.
Like sesame?
Yeah, or pumpkin seeds,
seed.
sunflower seeds.
That's
and
cool.
then, you know, it's slightly healthier, and also it will be more cost effective than having to buy a whole lot of expensive nuts. You could maybe
Right.
just do a little bit of the nuts and then top it up with your seeds. So I'm going to put a nice layer of these nuts directly onto my phyllo.
I feel like this still makes a really amazing Eid dish because it is very, very fragrant. I mean, I've got the beautiful syrup here. All I'm smelling is that citrus. We only added one little sliver of zest. But also, I know I've seen variations where we use rose water, which is also beautiful. And I think it just ties in perfectly with Eid.
It does. So, you know, like rose water is probably like that one flavor that I would always go to. So like rose water, cardamom, or even something like a ginger. Orange blossom water is a really nice.
But a little goes a long way, right?
A little goes a very long way.
You don't want to be smelling like...
No, you're not making like air freshener.
You don't want to smell like air freshener.
No.
Because it's like an accent.
Yes.
It's not like the whole vibe. It's beautiful. I love it.
So then once I've got my nuts on, I'm just going to put my second lot of sheets on top. And then at this point, I am going to cut into my baklava. So whichever shape that you want to make, you can just cut into it.
So the trick is actually to cut before you bake. Obviously,
Yes.
once it's baked, it's all fragile and glossy in a sense, and then it's going to crack.
And then this part is also really important because we are going to just pour our butter over. So we want the butter to get into all of those little nooks and crannies. And that way, it saves us time because we don't have to physically butter each sheet.
Have you seen this thing we do in the show where we get like our presenters to pour stuff like chocolate or butter or something ooey gooey and delicious? And then we have this magic DJ upstairs that plays amazing music. Have you seen that before?
No, I haven't. Are you gonna show
Yeah,
me?
so what you're gonna do now is you're gonna have to look in the camera and you're gonna pour the butter and magically the music just starts playing. But you have to give South Africa your like special like look. You know what I mean? Have you got that? Have you got that?
I mean, I'm gonna try.
There we go. Okay, in the camera. Oh, okay, this camera over here. I want to get nice and close. Okay, so you're busy. Okay, so you're looking in that camera and you're gonna give them your...
My special look.
Special look. And you're gonna pour slowly. You gotta mean it. Oh.
Oh, okay.
That's the way. That's the way. That's the way. Yes. Someone's saying, is it halal? I don't know. I don't know. So now what you're gonna do is you're gonna take it like this and you look in the camera and you go, swirl it. Girl, do you swirl? You can rock my world. That's inappropriate.
It's very
inappropriate.
My husband isn't.
It's just how we do it in the morning. Food's all about emotion. You did a great... Can we give her a hand? What's your husband gonna say right now?
I don't know. I think he's gonna phone me and be like, what's going on?
Make sure to our social media team, make sure you cut this from this clip, now put it on every single social media platform. Boost it. Boost it. That looks amazing. Absolutely amazing. The combination of the nuts, the crispy pastry, the butter that's in there. It's just gonna soak in those nuts. When does this go on? This goes on when it comes out.
This is going to bake at like 180 until it's nice and golden brown and all that butter has been absorbed. You're going to pour that over. You can dress it up with maybe some dried rose petals.
Oh, yes.
And then serve it with some ice cream or something while it's still warm, you know?
Yeah. Send the people an amazing Eid message out there. Don't forget to remind them to barakat, guys, barakat. Send them a message.
I just want to wish everyone who's celebrating Eid Mubarak. And I hope you have a lovely day with your families.
Barakat, in the box. Put it in. Send it to us. We're going to try it. Have an amazing Eid, South Africa. We're back next week. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's going to be another showstopper of a Culinary Hotline Bling. We want to hear more of your suggestions. Go to Facebook, go to Instagram. What do you want to see us do on the Culinary Hotline Bling? People, can I get the loudest ting, ting, ting you've ever in your life? Culinary Hotline Bling! Ting, ting, ting!